Delvis, one of your favorite sports that you participate in is bowling. And man, I was doing some research, and I was thinking, who is the greatest bowler of all time? I think it's between. I'm sure it's between Pete Weber, Walter Ray Williams, or Earl Anthony. Since you're the bowling guy, who is it?
Well, Earl Anthony had an advantage because he's a lefty. He's nobody's on that side of the lane, so he can go ahead and finger roll like Gervin. Um, I would Pete Weber was a butthole, man. And I mean, he was a sorry, mama, I got my mom picture right there, but he's a butthole. Uh, Not a fan of Pete Weber. Uh, I would say Walter Ray because of the longevity. And you have a lot of these guys that are bowling now, a lot of them using the two hands. But let's see if they're competing at a high level in their 50s and 60s like Walter Ray has. So I would say,
Now,
in my opinion, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
and how's your bowling been going this year?
Better. I think I'm out of the abyss. I'm ready to do some tournaments.
Welcome back to the show. Delvis, I'm excited. I'm excited. We have a great guest, Dave Sims, the New York Yankees play-by-play announcer, a good friend of ours. Looking forward to our conversation. We're also going to talk about the WNBA finally reaching an agreement with its players. As a proud Bearcat, happy that Cleveland native Jared Calhoun is now the new UC coach. So a lot of things to talk about, Delvis, and of course the NCAA tournament, and I'm sure you have some football news. So, what were your thoughts on the WNBA finally coming to an agreement with its players?
The funny thing is, people kept on, and a lot of them were men, were saying that the women there's no way they should be having no walkout. They should just take whatever's been given to them. But the fact is that they've been making money off the WNBA. They're not going to throw money at something that's losing. And that's been a narrative that's been false, that the WNBA has been losing money. They're not just making money at the arenas. They're making money, period. So I would say that if they got the money, because even these women in the WNBA, excuse me, they had to go overseas to really make ends meet. So I'm glad it happened. I'm glad we're going to have basketball timely, and I just hope that the sport continues to grow.
I have a good friend that he was totally against the raise or the women getting their just due. He talked about, as far as business, about the losses that some of these owners have taken in the past. But I said to him, that has nothing to do with these women now, and the fact that you're making money now because of these women. They definitely should get their due. I mean, Delvis, the salary cap now is 7 million. Can you guess what it was before?
Probably two.
1.4 million.
Yeah.
What was the salary cap? The average salary was 60,000 for women.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna go up to 300,000, and there's so many other incentives that they needed: housing, health care, child care, private planes. And why wouldn't they deserve, especially the money that they're making and the money they're going to make as the league gets better? Why shouldn't the women benefit from this? I don't understand his logic, but I'm happy that the WNBA has come to this agreement, and that these women who are stars can definitely make the money they deserve.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of men that's been thinking like that. I just tell them this: why, if they're losing so much money, like you people think that you know so much, and you really don't know, if they're losing money, why would they expand?
Exactly.
You don't expand a business if you're losing money. You don't. they are expanding. So that tells you right then and there, they realized, and I think honestly, that was pretty much the ringing of the bell. Like, okay, if they even know that we know that they're making money because they're expanding and we're not getting no pieces of that pie. So let's just make this fair. Let's make this a little bit more equitable. And I think that there should be labor peace, and we're going to have women's basketball in the summer, bro.
And now you'll have the first $1 million player in the WNBA with their max contract. But you know what's the best thing out of it for me to me, Delvis, is the fact that now a lot of these women don't have to go overseas to make ends
Yeah,
meet. They can stay right here after the season. They can develop and do the things that they need to do and be here at home and be at home with family and don't have to travel overseas. So kudos to the women in WNBA, and I will have season tickets when they Cleveland gets their franchise in 2028. I'll be there to support.
yeah, we have to get like Rusha Brown or somebody that played with the Rockers. Because if you're talking about the Cleveland, Gunn did not lose. They were not losing any money on the Rockers, and yet they still folded the franchise. So it's just that it's just time to just let them play ball and let them get the recognition. But Branson, you been watching the women's NCAA tournament. You've been watching that in the men's. What's been your opinion? Has anything surprised you other than Iowa losing? And that might have not even been a surprise. But what what
Oh,
has
as
surprised
far
you?
as the women's side, as far as the
Yeah,
women's
women's
side,
side. Yeah.
oh, no surprises. Well, I'd say this: South Carolina, the way they handled, they
Oh,
I guess they proved that they were the real SC in the
no, that's
battle with
fourth.
USC and South Carolina. I've been impressed, and especially impressed because they don't have a true point guard for South Carolina, and they've been able to do the things that they've been doing. UCLA, um, as you know, I'm loyal to the Big Ten, so I think UCLA is going to be there at the end, and I'm not sure about UConn because although they're undefeated and they dominated, I just don't think they had this type of schedule that UCLA had. So
And the
I think
coach for
it's going to be
Syracuse, who
collision.
they just blew out, and a lot of people are getting on her because she said, "How is it that whatever team I'm involved in, we have to come here?" Because unlike the men's tournament, the women's tournaments, the first few games are at the higher seeded teams' home court, so they
Right.
got to play. It's a home game for Connecticut, and she, people got on her, but I support her. Leggett Jack, I think her name is Felicia Leggett Jack, and she
Hmm.
just said, hey, how is that every year? Is it me? I've been involved with this game. She said 37 years, man. And I'm always the team that I'm with, we're always playing at Connecticut early in the tournament. And I just don't think it's right. But hey, man, you got to play who you play.
Exactly. You got to do that. Well, Devils, you know the news in Cincinnati, and the press conference is soon about their new coach, Jared Calhoun. Very successful at Utah State, 55-15 over 2 years. He was at Youngstown State, had two 20-win seasons there. That doesn't happen at Youngstown State. Did very well at Fairmont State and West Virginia, Division II school. A graduate of Cincinnati, and I'm not just biased because he's a
Yes, you
Bearcat.
are.
No, I'm
Yes,
not.
you
No,
are.
I'm not. And this is why.
Why
Not
you
just
have the shirt on? Why do you have the
well,
Cincinnati shirt on?
that's my school.
See,
It's my school.
bias.
And I'm not biased just because he's from Cleveland. The reason why he's is the perfect coach for Cincinnati is because of style of play. He plays fast. They play defense. Players are going to love to play for him because he plays an open game. And a lot of times when you hear open game, they think people just out there crazy and not doing what they're supposed to do as far as the flow of the offense, or they're just undisciplined because they're trying to score a lot. but not his teams. Not only they quick on offense, they're also quick on defense. And because of Cincinnati's past with Bob Huggins, people are used to some toughness. It's gonna be a welcome sight. Really a welcome sight because the previous coach in 5 seasons, Miller, they did not go to the NCAA tournament. And when you're Cincinnati Bearcat, that's uncalled for. But now I think it's all turned with Calhoun.
But you used to dog Mick Cronin. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I still do.
And before I forget, a shout out to a friend of mine named Gail, someone who we went to high school, junior high together. She's a close friend of mine. She wanted to thank Clark Kellogg for giving her some advice on her brackets because she had High Point. And she's number one in the group that she's in. She's number one. So she said, tell Clark I said thank you, because he said, watch the 5 and the 12s. And even you called me and said, man, I should have listened.
I should have listened. I couldn't believe it. Should have listened to Clark, man. Definitely listen to Clark. All right, Devils, take us on our break. And who is our guest?
We're going to have Dave Sims, Yankees broadcaster, but spent a lot of time with the Seattle Mariners. We're going to talk baseball. We're going to talk about the opportunity for Black Americans in the game and broadcasting the game. We'll be right back.
Dave Sims, a 3-time National Sports Media Association Sportscaster of the Year, long broadcasting career, which included 18 years as the TV play-by-play announcer for the Seattle Mariners. Now in his second season as the radio play-by-play announcer for the New York Yankees, our good friend, Dave Sims. Welcome to the show.
Fellas, good morning. Good to see you. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing real good,
Feeling
man.
great. Cold, but great.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm an East Coast guy. It's a little milder temperatures in the Pacific Northwest during those 18 years there. And then right now as we speak to you, we're in Arizona, where it's going to 99 for our final preseason, our exhibition season game. So, oh my God, the weather's unreal.
Dave, how long have the Yankees been in Arizona? I'm used to them being in Florida.
Yeah, it's the first time since they've been here since '51, when Mantle was 19 and a kid, and the owner wanted to show off to his friend. We just got here Sunday night, played yesterday at 3:00, and today we play. And I'm hoping that the umpire will say, "Hey boys, last day of spring training, this strike zone is going to be kind of big. Y'all better swing." I'm hoping that's what we get today.
What feels different about baseball today compared to when you first started calling?
Well, I tell you what, the thing that you don't see as much small ball, bunt and run, everything slug. Little guys are trying to slug, hit the ball out of the ballpark. I tell you what, the other thing that bothers me, and there's not a lot I can do about it, but I can't help but notice, but there are a lot of guys, Black Americans in the game. We got maybe 6-7% tops. And for whatever reason, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch, I know a couple, the coolness factor in baseball is not driving a lot of cats to play. And as they get through, maybe play Little League, they might play high school. The numbers of Black guys I see at Power 5 baseball programs is small. And it's just the dearth of Black Americans in the game. And Jackie Robinson and that whole generation of cats, man, they'd be flipping out after, I think we peaked at, I don't know, 18, 19%, maybe a little bit more. But the game's changed, but no, it's good. I still love it. I mean, it's all about the power. It's all about analytics. But you still got to get a bunt down in a critical situation. The cats can't do that.
So you did TV Seattle for the games. You're doing radio now for the Yankees. What's the difference?
I did largely TV. I probably did, I don't know, 65, maybe 70% of the games in Seattle, and did some radio. And now the full-time radio. You put a premium on describing. I like to be exacting. I mean, I had a lot of influence and friendship and mentorship from Marty Glickman, who's a legendary New York sportscaster, um, and talking to Scully and Enberg and people like that, and over the years, and just I had a pretty good idea growing up in Philly, which is a great sports town, about as a consumer, as a baseball consumer listening on the radio, I need to know what's happening. Sights, smells, wind direction, colors, who's wearing what, who's built like what are they wearing? Are they wear anything different? Just describe everything. And then, as a home team announcer, I mean, you're going to be a little bit excitable, and you also want to play it straight and be honest for both teams. A good play is a good play, bad play is a bad play. Not looking to character assassinate anybody. So,
Dave, you had talked about the lack of blacks, American blacks, in the major leagues at this time. What do you think could remedy that? Because even, in major cities, it seems like they've cut back. They had to sacrifice, especially in the times we're in, they had to sacrifice one sport, and it's not going to be, in black schools particularly, it's not going to be track, it's not going to be basketball, it's not going to be football. So it's going to be that. What do you think could be the remedy to get more black kids involved in the game, even as far as liking the game?
You got to expose them to it. And baseball's like the ultimate hand-me-down father-to-son sport. And, sociologists will tell you that, black fatherhood, the numbers could be, what politely can say, could be better. And then the economics of the whole thing. Travel ball can cost a heck of a lot of money. And when you start getting to those elite levels, what do you call it? A aluminum bat that runs like an extraordinary amount of money. It can cost upwards of 15 large during the summer to play summer ball. You got to love the game. There's a lot of failure in the game. You're a superstar if you hit hitting 300, but there's so much good stuff and life lessons in baseball. And that kind of stuff for me, I mean, I learned that at a very early age. Excitement of the game, the beauty of the game, the athleticism of the game. We bring all that to the table, and I would love to see, I would just love to see more cats get involved. And I know there's groups around the country, and I know Major League Baseball and teams, they espouse it. But there's academies, in the Caribbean, and we don't have equal kind of opportunity with some of these outstanding academies that they have down in the Caribbean. And I'd like to see it. I mean, it's such a great game, and I even look at in my situation. I had two grown sons. They're both really good athletes. They played baseball, and then they hung them up after junior high school ball, I want to say. My oldest played basketball all 4 years. My youngest played baseball for 3, basketball for 4, and football for 4. And they like baseball, but they're really connected to it through me. They listen to me, follow me. They break my chops and everything. So that's my thought. It's just a hope, and I just trying to get the message out of like, yo, fellas, there's a great game out here. The scholarships aren't as plentiful in baseball for college age, but if you're really good, you come right out of high school and have them pay for your education. You go. So I'll get off the soapbox.
Oh, please,
No.
Dave, we definitely need to hear that stuff, because I know Branson has been really involved in trying to expose young black kids to the game of baseball.
Yeah.
I remember years ago we talked to Ken Griffey Jr. and this was maybe 15 years ago, and he had lamented the fact that they don't promote the stars in baseball the way that other sports. Basketball, they promote them. Football, they promote them. Baseball,
I couldn't agree more. I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, whatever. We have some great players in this game. Doggone it, promote them. Oh, my goodness. Hey, I'm a big Caitlin Clark fan. That girl is capitalizing on all the great stuff that she's done that last couple of years at Iowa, first year in the WNBA. And during the March Madness, she's in those Capital Ones with Chuck and Samuel L. Jackson and Magic. God bless her. and I know you're not going to promote baseball during the final, the March Madness. Nevertheless, there's opportunities all along through the season, and in a major market. I mean, living in New York and not seeing, more of Judge, more, golly, I mean, Lindor with the Mets, Garrett Cole with the Yankees. I mean, we got some good dudes playing the game, man, and let's pump it up. I have a friend in Seattle, works for one of the black papers, and as passionate as I am about this, he's 100 degrees hotter than I am about it. And he said, Dave, what are you going to do? I said, Gordon, I can't do anything about it. I'm with you 100%. We're in violent agreement, dude. I mean, it's just I want to see more. And I know, as working from the broadcast booth, and I look down and I'm looking at crowds, and here we're in playing the Cubs these 2 days. Did I see any black? I think I saw me. Wow. And it's better in New York. In Seattle, not that great. I mean, so it's a shame, man, because what Mr. Robinson and Dobie and all those cats did, to help change the country, and now it's just like, sad.
Dave, speaking of Jackie Robinson, share with us a story. I heard a story about you was tracking down Rachel one day in the city. Tell us that story and tell us how much you're a big fan of Jackie Robinson.
Well, you have to be. You'd have to be deafed up. Well, no, I don't want to say that, but you'd have to be an idiot not to be a fan of Jackie Robinson. What he did, the guts of that man, immeasurable. I always say after my old man, I mean, he's a hero. I grew up watching, reading World Series programs from the late 40s, early 50s, because my father, before he got married, was always up there going to World Series games. Anyway, so one day I'm working at a radio situation in New York, and I get to like 7th Avenue and 49th Street or whatever the heck it was. And I'm waiting for the light to change. At catty corner, I see a very attractive senior citizen, black woman. I said, damn, she's familiar. Then I went, yo, dumbass, that's Rachel Robinson. And I ran pretty much diagonally across the street, dodging traffic. I look like George Costanza in Seinfeld playing Frogger, trying not to get killed. And I went over. I said, Mrs. Robinson, I just want to say hello. My name's Dave Sims. I'm a broadcaster. And I just want to thank you and your husband for everything that y'all did. And I, as a broadcaster, doing play-by-play and in baseball and other sports, if you guys aren't successful, if you don't do what you did, I'm not enjoying this career. And I want to thank you very much. And she was just an absolute doll. I saw a picture recently. She's 103.
Yes.
And where was I? That's what it was. I was at a forum talking about Mr. Robinson's time in the Army, and down at the Jackie Robinson Museum, which is down in Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, and talked to a few people. And I think this one woman was like her executive assistant. I said, "How's Mrs. Robinson doing?" Said, "That girl's 103. She still got it. She's still bossing people around. She's something else. She's the best." I was like, "Oh God!" I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." And if you read about what they went through in New York, in around the country, spring training, oh geez, it's one of the great stories in the American scene. And I know every April 15th, when we have Jackie Robinson Day, I said, hey, I celebrate this. I mean, you celebrate this like Easter or Passover. I mean, because if he fails, we're not doing hardly any of this stuff, or maybe just now getting to where we are. So
right.
it just, and anytime I run into cats who, well, that whole generation, there's not a whole bunch of those guys left, but the guys who may have covered him, knew Jackie Robinson, they always say when you play golf with him, put it in a cup, no gimmies. Screw you, put it in a cup. If you play golf, a lot of people can't make the 3-footer. But anyway, he was that much of a competitor. He was that man of unbelievably strong character, and I'm just in awe of what he did, man. And I'm getting older, and it's still affects me like I was like 15 or 16 years old just hearing about.
Dave, what are some of the things that Major League Baseball are doing to help promote the game in our community? I know Ken
Uh,
Griffey's doing some things, and you
yeah,
are. What are some of the things league wide?
I don't have chapter and verse on this. I just hear about them, dribs and drabs of what's going on, and I know there's an effort, and people are conscious of it, and they want to try to fix it. I know the junior does the HBCU Swingman Classic. This will be the 4th year. He said, "Hey man, I got this All-Star game, All-Stars from the HBCUs. You're doing a game." I said, "Yeah, I'll be there." And
Right.
and so that's a lot of fun this year. And we do it at the site at the All-Star game. So we've already been to Dallas, Seattle, Dallas, Atlanta this year, Philly. So I'm looking forward to it. I wish I had the answers. I just know that I try to support guys. I know baseball, Beyond Borders in Seattle. There's a really good group. They do a terrific job. Billy North, the ex-major leaguer, is involved in some of that stuff. So when you have groups like that and they're producing young kids, what's his name? What's my boy's name? I can't think of his name. Anyway, he would bring cats to the ballpark at T-Mobile Park, get to say hello to these kids and get to see their eyes light up when they come to a big, major league ballpark. So, anything I can do along those lines, I try to get involved with.
Dave, it seems like to the average fan that baseball is almost non-competitive these days. I know you work for the Yankees, but it's the Yankees who spend the most money.
No, Dodgers.
Who's really spends the most money. The Mets who are trying to play catch up, and everybody else is just trying to play for who's next. Do you think a salary cap will ultimately be utilized in baseball to have some kind of competitive balance?
Well, they also got to have a floor too. There's got to be a minimum amount. From what I'm told and what I've read, got to be a minimum amount you got to spend. You just can't sit on all that money that's coming in. You got Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Red Sox, Phillies. Not afraid, for the most part, not afraid to spend dollars. We got a CBA coming to an end in December, and things are going well. I think ratings-wise, numbers-wise, income, attendance. Man, they can't afford to go through another stoppage. Should they have a salary cap? Well, it sure as heck works in the NBA. Not NBA, the NFL. That's probably the better example because Green Bay still exists because they have this, they have those provisions. So we'll see. I don't have a definitive answer. I just hope. Here's my request: don't screw it up. You got something going really, really good here. Don't screw it up. And they're in position to screw it up. And hopefully that is not going to happen, and they'll be able to, I know, the last think of all the recent CBAs, collective bargaining agreements, the players are fervent, man. Hey, no salary cap. Let the market dictate. So let's see what happens. I mean, I saw some headlines about a few owners thinking about a compromise. So we'll let it play out. I don't have enough information on it to speculate what's going to happen. Do I want to see a salary cap? I want to see baseball. Hey, boys, figure it out.
Right. Dave, I want to ask you a off baseball topic, and that's about the city of Seattle. There's talk, and it seems like it's getting a lot of push that the Seattle Supersonics will be in the NBA. Seattle, who lost his team to Oklahoma City, now will get an NBA team. You spent a lot of time in Seattle. What would having the Seattle Supersonics mean to the city of Seattle?
Hey man, that's a great basketball town. They got screwed. I got there in 07. Sonics left in 8, and it was just I won't say cataclysmic, but it was a big deal, and it hurt a lot of people. And I tell you what, they've redone the arena. The hockey team plays there. I've been in the arena. They did a spectacular job. It is up to the 2020s specs for a big league arena. There's a lot of really good players that have come out of Seattle, And I hope, and I've been hoping this since the word first came out, right, what, 10, 11, 12. Hey, we'll take care of you guys. We'll get to you guys. Well, now it looks like it's going to finally happen. And I applaud it, and please let it happen.
Dave, I'm going to go back to baseball.
Sure.
Got the pitch clock. Is it better for the game? I mean,
Love it. That's all you need to know.
You love it?
Love
Okay,
it. That's all you need to know. It's the best because you know what? If you're in a jam, you gotta like compose yourself and 15 was it 18 seconds I think it is with nobody on 15 with somebody's on. And the other good thing is about it that most of these cats now, the generation of players who didn't go through the minor leagues with it, they're thinning out, and the majority of the players have had the pitch clock during their minor league times, so they're used to it. So it's to the point now, it's really not a big deal. And the batters also have to get their butts in there too. But no, the pitch clock was great, absolutely great. Because I could think of a pitcher we had in Seattle, and if he got in trouble, you know, a couple of men on trying to preserve a 1-run lead, and this dude's like, he take his hat off, you know, go to a rosin bag, goes down off the mound, walks in a circle, say, "Yo, dude, we got 40,000 people here. Get your ass up on the mound and let's go. Come on."
Right.
We don't have that nonsense anymore. You know, suck it up.
So you're telling me Al Hrabowski, the Mad Hungarian, wouldn't work now?
He would have to truncate that whole act. He would have to. You know, he had some big range back in the day. He had that much. He could do all that, you know, all that crazy stuff. Like after, like if he strikes somebody out, or you know, double play, do it while the ball's being thrown back to him. And get up on the mound. Let's go. Come on.
Where do you stand on analytics versus the feel of the game?
Analytics is great for evaluating a player. It's great for scouting. It does provide a really good look. For me as an announcer, I used to say grandma in Bothell, Washington, a suburb of Seattle, does not care about spin rate. What's the score? Who's hot? Who's not? And what else is going on? There are numbers that I use that I never really thought that much about. Well, they weren't really providing them, but like strikeout rate, walk rate, nice compliment to to give you an idea where it pitches. I like that a lot. I think OPS, and a lot of these numbers have been around forever. It's just that they're now spoken about. They're out in the open. They're not just like the number heads. They're not like sitting there. All right, this is our region. This is our precinct. But now they've spread it out, and it does help in looking at guys. And the one thing it's sort of third time through the order for a starting pitcher. If you got a stud, most stud pitchers can get through it a third time. They figure it out. But the one thing I don't like is the emphasis on everybody. If you throw 100 right at first pitch. And when you look at the game, sometimes you go, wait a minute, the dude blew out his arm, and guys are blowing out their arms. Well, we just go get another one. Teach guys how to pitch. Teach them how to get out of tight situations. I mean, all right, old man soapbox. Get off my lawn, guy. But back in the day, cats could go 7-8 innings.
Right.
I was like in basketball. No one was doing this resting. So we mean rest. We got a game tomorrow. Get your ass out there and play.
Right.
So I think we've seen the evolution and devolution, if you will. I mean, it's crazy.
Devils, I got to follow up to that. So with this velocity and power emphasis, are we losing some of the art when it comes to the game?
Oh, yeah. Well, you see a guy, here's the line that always sort of captures it. Glavine and Maddox probably wouldn't get scouted today because, they weren't throwing 95 and 100. I mean, they're probably low 90s, but they could hit spots, carve you up. And I like, you get these, he throws 100. I said, talk to me when he's throwing it for strike, 3-2, 2 out, 1-run game, 7th inning. And you got, one of the top sluggers in the game up. Talk to me then. How's he getting at it? Because if he can throw 100 and he can throw by a guy at a good pitcher's pitch in the zone, that's cool. He's throwing 100 and it's where a guy can get it. It's the old, too many coaches. Hey, my boys, he can throw as hard as you want, but if it's straight, my boy's gonna hit it. I mean, how many times have I heard that in various accents? I mean, so it's about pitching. It's not just throwing.
Dave, and I've watched you do games, ESPN, and you bring that sauce to baseball, just like Gus Johnson brings that sauce to college basketball, college football. What would you say to some young, because we're members of National Association of Black Journalists, we talked about as far as getting Black youth involved in playing. What about getting young Black folks, men and women, involved in broadcasting? What would you tell them would be some of the great things that they could do by broadcasting baseball?
Well, I mean, I think the foundation thing is, golden rules are always in effect. Nobody gossips more than people in the media. 3, and probably even superseding all that, know the English language. Know how to enunciate and pronounce names. Know how to tell a story. Subject, verb, object, beginning, middle, end. I mean, a lot of it's just basic. And then it's just hustle. Hey, show up early, stay late. And you got to have passion for this stuff. And here's the other thing. You got, whatever sport you're going into, a lot of stuff happened before, 2015. You need to know the history of the game. Somebody said, what was a great story about the late, great Lenny Wilkins and what was it, Hot Rod, who was Hot Rod, what was my boy's name? He passed away a few years ago. He said, Coach, you played? No, Lenny Wilkins only in the Hall of Fame as a player, as an assistant coach with the Dream Team, and as a head coach and one of the leading winners in the history of the game. You need to know the history of the damn game. That goes for all the sports. And, I know eras are eras, but you got to know who came before you, man. It's like we try to learn as much as we can about ancestors, our ancestors in our immediate family, our general family. I think those are important things. Be well read. In this day and age with all this technology, know how to communicate that way. Know how to edit so you can do a lot of your own stuff. And if you have a buddy who's really good at editing, put your arm around him or her and, I need help, to get this stuff down. I got content I want to get out. So that's what I would say. I belong, my membership expired a long time ago, but because of what I've been doing, they always have the NABJ dead in the middle of baseball season, and I can't go. And I know David Aldridge in D.C. says, yo, man, you got to come out and talk to kids. I would love to. And as I told him, and I can tell you guys, if they have, in any, I don't know where it's probably somewhere in the South where it's going to be broiling. Is it in Atlanta again?
Yeah,
it's Atlanta. Yes.
Oh Lord, it's going to be. Oh, you go down there and lose some weight. But if they have some forums or something and they need somebody like me, to jump on a Zoom and talk, I'm more than happy to do it. You can give my email. I'll gladly do it. Because I just can't get there. I can't, to do this job full time. I can't be missing a ton of games. It's not, no load management. I got to work.
And Dave, my last question for you is, what excites you, Dave Sims, broadcaster, but you're also a fan of the game? What excites you about this 2026 season?
Oh, just about everything. First of all, I'm looking, they've been very parochial here, but obviously I want the Yankees to win. I want to get a World Series ring before I freaking retire. I ain't gonna lie. And this team's capable of doing it. A lot of people are bitching and moaning about, well, you're running it back. Well, you're running it back with a team that won 94 games, tied with Toronto for the most wins in the American League, third most in Major League Baseball. Yeah, they struggled against playoff teams that went on to make the playoffs last year. And Toronto wore us out. It was just, that happens. And they're a good team, a lot of respect for them. But that's, I'd like to see Aaron Judge is having a fabulous career. I would like for him to get a World Series ring so I can get some of these people to get off his back about he's not this. Hey, the numbers he's putting up are ridiculous, all right? And he was the overall batting champion hit 53 home runs, second MVP, back-to-back, third in 4 years. I root for guys like Giancarlo Stanton. I root for Garrett Cole, who's a hell of a pitcher, who's coming back from Tommy John. He's pitching today, as a matter of fact. And I love the excitement of the game. Somebody's got to beat the Dodgers at some point. It's like a dog. He does because he can, and that's who they are. It's always exciting opening day. And the Yankees and the Giants are an opening day game. I mean, Netflix gave me a Sunday off in Seattle. I could see my son because they took one of the 3 games and moved it to Wednesday to have an exclusive. So we're the only game on the board on Wednesday, March 25, which is crazy. But I just overall growth of the game, continued growth of the game, and a lot of stuff that we've already touched on. But I love baseball. I can remember probably the first World Series memory I had was probably 1958. I was like 5 years old. And, the Yankees were in the World Series again. My dad was pissed off because the Yankees were in the World Series again. But it was, from like, I think 58 was the first year I really became aware of Major League Baseball. But, I mean, you go back and I looked during that time and when I was a kid, 57 to 64, they missed the World Series in 59, and that was it. They were in the 50, and from 47 to 64, I mean, the Yankees were unbelievable. And it just sort of tickles me that having said all that, and I remember my father like, the Yankees are in it, and now I'm doing the Yankees. So, hey, God is good, right?
Yes. Dave, okay, got some quick hitters as we
what do you got?
wind down. All right. Other than Yankee Stadium and in Seattle, best ballpark to call a game in?
That's a darn good question. Pittsburgh's aesthetics are fabulous. The only problem that the press box and broadcast booth is at the top of the building. But other than that, it's just unbelievable. Gorgeous vista looking at the Allegheny River, Pittsburgh skyline. The ballpark, they nailed it. They got it right. San Francisco, beautiful. Look out the McCovey Cove. Look out into San Francisco Bay. That's on a nice day. You're not freezing your butt off. It's fabulous. Wrigley, because it's Wrigley. It's Chicago. It's the Ivy. It's the atmosphere. Those people. I mean, it's 81 parties a year. Even if the Cubs are good. They got a nice team. So that adds excitement. That's 3. There was another. I like Boston, same kind of thing. Attitudinally, these people, they love freaking baseball, and they hate the Yankees, and it's a great rivalry. My place of birth, Philadelphia, good ballpark, hitter's ballpark. Again, looking at the city, center city, looking out beyond right center field. Good hitter's park. It looks like I haven't really walked a ton around the stadium, but it looks like there's a good seat all over. So those are the ones that jump out at me.
Toughest name you've ever had to call on radio or TV?
Oh man, there was a Japanese guy. Oh, I know what it was. Shota Imanaga pitched in the game we did against the Cubs yesterday, and I gave it a run at his hometown in Japan, swing and a miss. And I got through it. And I said, well, I won't be repeating that. I said, my next referral will be, he's from Japan. That's very recent from yesterday, but there's been a bunch over the years. Yeah. There's a lot of games that were, let me think, there's a couple of names, so many names that roll off your tongue. I just remember watching when the Expos were in Montreal, they had a catcher named John Bacabella. And whoever their PA announcer was in Montreal, those guys, he always did it with a flourish, and he would say in French, number, but he said in French, Jean Bacabella. And I was like, oh, I thought that was so cool. And there's always, Bob Shepard, nobody, number 2, Derek Jeter, number 2. That's always a classic. So,
favorite home run call you've had?
Cal Raleigh got the Mariners into the playoffs with a game-clinching home run. Was that 22? And then last season, against trying to stay alive against the Red Sox, a Judge hit one off the foul pole, whatever you like, 3-run homer to tie it. And it was also a home run he hit against Garrett Crochet up in Boston hit completely out of Fenway onto Lansdowne Street, just to the left of the flagpole and center. Yeah, those are two that come to mind. A bunch of Nelson Cruz home runs, boom, stick, baby. That was my deal with him.
Okay, end us with this. When people listen to you call a game, what do you want them to feel by the end of 9 innings?
That's a great question. I want them to feel excitement, the joy that I have for baseball, and I hope that I can, paint a word picture, and they come away going, "Damn, I'm breathless, man. That was a good game." Yeah, especially if because not everybody goes wire to wire on radio, but if they're hearing chunks of the game and they hear action, they're going to hear some excitement and try to work some humor in and just having a good time.
Dave, thanks, man. We
Hey, good
always
to
have
see
a
you,
good
fellas.
time
Yeah,
being
thanks,
in your
man.
presence, man.
My pleasure. Appreciate you asking, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys when we come to Cleveland.
Yes, sir. Want to thank our good friend and our brother Dave Sims for talking about baseball. A lot of times you don't hear brothers talk baseball. A lot of these other podcasts, they're not going to talk about baseball. We're around it. And we'll talk about every sport except for soccer. But Branson, what were your takes from Dave's interview with us?
Well, one, Dave has been in the game for a long time. And for any aspiring announcer, especially baseball, when it comes to baseball, you definitely want to look him up, give him a call, send him an email. He's the best one of the best in the business. And I'm glad, he's a friend of ours. A lot of great baseball knowledge. Can definitely lean on him for that. And I hope to have him on soon. And hopefully the Yankees and some other teams can challenge the Dodgers, because it looks like it's going to be, unless there's injury, that they're going to win 3 straight.
Lay up, just like Lamar Mundane, bro. You got to go. Hey, what did Ric Flair say? In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Who's going to beat the Dodgers? Because they're spending probably $1 billion in salary.
On salary. just crazy. So that was, as we wind down the NCAA tournament, with Sweet 16, and talking about the men, and besides the games, have you changed your mind who's going to be the number 1 pick? And we're talking about BYU's DeBunsa, AJ DeBunsa, if I'm pronouncing it right. Kansas, Darren Peterson. Has anything changed? Who's number 1?
It could be. Darren Peterson did not have a great game, and which has happened kind of a lot. The center AJ for BYU, like I said, brother playing with BYU, suspect. But I think that person that they're going to start nitpicking, and I hope we have his dad on the show soon, is Cameron Boozer, because he does whatever is necessary to win. If he has to hit the jumper, he'll hit the jumper. If he has to rebound, he'll rebound. If he has to make he does everything it takes to be a winner. So I think that there should be some serious consideration on elevating Cameron Boozer to be the number 1 pick in the draft.
I agree with you, and even though you know how I feel about Duke, but Boozer is definitely stepped up.
But his dad is your boy. I mean, y'all boys.
Well, you know how it is. I get along with all the Duke people. I just root against Duke.
You a secret Duke lover. That's what it is.
But for me, have to go to Arkansas. Darius Acuff. For me, he can be a number 1 pick because of what he's, not only what he's done as being the SEC Player of the Year, but if you look at him throughout the tournament, and the difference between him and Peterson, which probably could go to coaching, and I don't think you would ever see me praise Arkansas's coach Calipari, but Peterson a lot of times didn't have the ball late in the games. If he's your best player, he needs to have the ball. Acuff, for Arkansas, he has the ball late in the game, and they depend on him to bring them to the promised land. So for me, Acuff, the way he's been playing, the way he stepped up, he's got that little that edge to him that you like in a point guard. So for me, I think he's his game has risen, and I think he's gonna be on notice as either the number 1 or number 2 player picked in the draft.
Well, have your picks to win the tournament. I know I had South Carolina winning the women's and Houston winning the men's. They're both are in the tournament still, and nothing has changed. Have you changed your mind?
No, I'm still with UCLA for the women and Michigan. I still have Michigan for the men. And those are some of the things that I'm looking forward to as we close this out this weekend. I'm really looking forward to today, opening day, Yankees and the Giants. Looking forward to that. And my Big Red Machine opens up tomorrow on Thursday. So what are you looking forward to this weekend?
I'm looking forward to watching some more football coverage. You're still having pro days. And also there are some free agents that haven't been signed. Tyreek Hill, David Njoku. There have been some key guys that can contribute to a team that haven't been signed yet. Joe Bitonio. So I'm going to be looking to see what's going to happen because, brother, draft is happening less than a month away. In fact, it may be exactly a month away where the first round of the draft will be happening. So I'll be keeping an eye on the pro days and the acquisition wire to see if anybody is signing any of these free agents.
Okay, and the draft will be taking place in your favorite city.
Yeah, Cleveland. No, it's going to be in Pittsburgh. The closest I'll be to Pittsburgh is right here at home in Sagamore Hills, bro. but they're already planning ahead. Give Pittsburgh, the people that's running the city, a shout out because there's no school. Well, there's what they call it, distance learning. They'll be doing computer learning for all children for that Thursday and Friday, which I think logistically makes a heck of a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, what's made a lot of sense is our show. We thank Dave Sims for coming on. Hope to get him back in the near future. Don't forget to watch the NCAA tournament. Cheer your teams on. Watch Darius Acuff for Arkansas. I think he's a player to watch now and next year in the NBA. And we thank you all. Don't forget to, Don't forget to like
and subscribe.
And the over 2,000 subscribers we have so far, we thank you. And we thank the future subscribers to come. So this is another Sports Brothers show. And Delvis, take us on out.
We want to thank you all for listening and watching the Sports Brothers. And
welcome to the family. Looking for the perfect way to unwind after work? Slide through to Charter House Grill for happy hour. Tuesday through Fridays, 4 to 7 p.m. Enjoy $4 off signature cocktails, top shelf liquor, appetizers, and all wine. Plus $2 off all beer. Great drinks, great food, grown folk vibes. That's happy hour at Charter House Grill, 991 East 185th Street, Cleveland. Pull up, unwind, we'll take care of the rest.